welcome back to my channel. This is Luna over here. I'm a real estate agent here in Philly. So in today's video, we're gonna go over the 5 pros and cons about being a real estate agent. Number 1 is being a real estate agent. It's such an emotion roller coaster. I was just in the car having a very tough conversation with my seller. I've been working really hard on this deal, but every seller situation is different. Sometimes when they're selling, they could have to be paying for a mortgage, or if they want to pay off like the balance of their new house, and it's just, the number does not make sense for, you know, my seller. But we did get a really good offer, so they're thinking about turning that offer down. They think about taking the house off the market, which means all 4 months of my hard work is just gonna go in waste. Like, I don't get paid at the end because we didn't make it to closing table. So if you're in this business, nothing really matters. It's pretty much everything you do is charity work until you get it to closing table. Number 2, being a real estate agent, there's no base salary. You're getting commission only. Well, if you are an agent with Redfin, I think they do pay salary, but I wouldn't really recommend people to join a brokerage where they pay a base salary. And that usually means your split with that brokerage is really bad. Currently, my split with my broker is 85 and 15. I'm really happy at where I am, but I know especially when you're new, you have nothing to offer, your split could start as, you know, 50-50, 60-40, or 55-45. It really depends on what you have and what you can offer to that brokerage, how experienced you are. And the con number 3 is you could be learning a lot of the bad side of, like, you could be witnessing so many ugly truth about people, because any business that when it has those best interests involved, it usually shows like their true face. Usually if there's like a divorce situation, or if there's like a short sale where people already own a lot of money in the house, or it could be like a distress situation. There are so many things you could be involved, but usually those things are, I'm talking about as a listing agent, where you're selling people's house. Usually when they have a problem, then they're thinking about selling. But typically if you start out working with buyers, like first-time home buyers, it could be a lot of time like a happy ending. If you find their first home, you create memories and you can be the person that they will remember forever. Number 4, it is very hard to balance work life and personal life. I start to see a lot more this year. I've been a real estate agent for 2.5 years, and now, you know, I really start to feel like it getting so much busier. I set myself a goal that I will work Monday, Friday, and half day on Saturday. I'm gonna take Sunday off just to kind of, you know, keep it quiet and do some cleaning at home and just a cleanse for myself. But it's never really the case. I mean, if I just want to take like a nap on my couch on Sunday for just 30 minutes, a lot of time I get people call me. Sometimes it could be from showing time when agents are scheduled a viewing on seeing my listing, and sometimes agent could be calling me because they want to send in an offer, or the keys are missing from the lockbox, or you know, the back door wasn't locked and the seller is calling me. Or sometimes people are scheduling, they wanted to sell their house, they want to meet me. Those are usually the phone call that I do want to pick up, because, you know, I'll never turn down to a listing appointment. But that just becomes sometimes a lot, especially when I don't have assistant. I just find, you know, there's really never a break. That's why, you know, it's just the real estate life. And last but not least is, I find sometimes, not every time, but there could be clients who are entitled when they think that you are a real estate agent. They just don't simply have the respect for you. because becoming a real estate agent is very simple. It's not like you have to get 4 years of education, you have to get a certain degree in order to be a real estate agent. It's like a very entry-level sales job. People don't have the respect for you. And another reason is most people think that 85 of the real estate agents, they don't know what they're doing. They're just mediocre real estate agent. They don't know anything about the market. So with that being said, people kind of mistaken every single real estate agent is the same, which in, you know, it's not. Like 10% of the real estate agents are making 90% of the profit. So if you work really hard, you get to be that 10% of the real estate agent, you want people to see you as different. Like you do different business, you have different model, you're just a different person. So, but to a lot of people, they see you just as the same. For me, being on social media, sometimes people feel entitlement, you know, because like my phone number is everywhere. I do get random phone calls from people. It's not really business related, and that's part of the business that gets me pretty stressful. Okay, now let's get into the fun part. So what do I love about being a real estate agent? I will say majority, I feel very lucky that I'm in the type of business that I'm truly passionate about. I love real estate, I love houses, I love people, I love, you know, part of the sales where I negotiate for my seller, where I get to help them out. I work mostly with sellers, so I love, you know, working with old people. They're just truly the cutest people ever. They're so kind and so smart, and they trust me 100%, allow me to do business. So I will say absolutely this is, you know, my favorite part about the business. So number one is, you know, also you get to make your own schedule. I used to work at a jewelry store. That was my first ever job when I was at State College. And I didn't really like how I was told what to do. I was told to follow up with this client. I was told to post on my social media about this piece of jewelry, which I don't really like, you know. And also the relationship between me and my boss is completely different. Like he would walk in the store and he would say a hello and a smile, and that's it. And he doesn't care about your life, he doesn't care about your growth, and that's not, simply just not the relationship I'm looking for, you know, with my boss. And 3 years after the company that I'm with right now, I felt like I have a great relationship with everybody who works here. Majority of the clients, I mean, my coworkers are all older. I'm the youngest in the company. Joey is like 45 and Kay is around like 50 years old. They all have so much experience and wisdom when I talk to them, and I can just totally learn from them. And Joey has been in the business for like 15-20 years. It's more of a mentorship when I think about it, and he does truly care about his agents. And a great broker, in my opinion, is somebody who will unconditionally teach you. They're not hiding with anything that they know. They will tell you, and if something bad would happen to you, they don't throw you under the bus. And that's my definition of a good broker. Number two, I think being an agent, you have a great potential of making a great income. So my second year being an agent, I made over 100K, including, you know, my broker split. But without a split, it was like $90,000. And keep in mind, I moved to Philly all by myself. I have no family, no friends, and everything I do is pretty much through cold calling and farming and calling for sale by owners and expired listings. Everything I do, it was basically just on my own. So I was really proud of myself from the result that I was getting, my second year in real estate. So it's a great career that you can make a lot of money and a lot of income potential. Number three, I think it provides you with a great resources. So if you guys watch my previous video, you know I purchased the house 2 months ago, and when I was doing renovating for my house, it was just no-brainer because I know so many contractors. I was getting the materials for the cheapest price, and people offered to do work for me for really cheap on the labor. I had my fence installed with like 1 week of notice, you know, during a pandemic. So definitely you get to meet a lot of people. You build a lot of connections where it could be beneficial for you if you want to be a real estate investor in the future. Number four, I think being an agent really taught me how to be a better version of myself. When I first started, I used to be very lost. I wasn't sure like what I would do if somebody would just call me if they want to buy a house or they want to sell a house. I don't know how to take on the responsibility. Maybe I will be sleeping because I usually don't get up until like, you know, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, I'm a lazy person. I just don't find myself as like a really hardworking, you know, hard work ethic. But then I realized when I start taking on business, I kind of have to live that as a lifestyle. Like, I have to go to bed early at 10 or 11 o'clock, and I got up, I go to the gym, you know, I shower, I come to the office, I prospect. And if I have people who are calling me, even during the weekend, I can take on that phone call and schedule a listing appointment right away. Like, there's nothing stopping me. Work right now is my priority, and I love that, and it just makes me such a hardworking person. Last but not least, I think this business taught me to be humble. If anything, at a young age, when you are so good at doing something, you're making a lot of money, you could be arrogant. And I have to admit, sometimes I am arrogant. And on the phone, I wasn't being really nice to people. But every time when that happens to me, I go back to prospecting. I get people yell at me on the phone all the time. And I think about my older sellers. Like, they pick up the phone call. They're so polite. They're so just, you know, patient. And they talk to me. And then we kept in touch. And maybe a year, 2 years later, I close on their deal. And every time through a cold call, the transaction's always so smooth because they trust me on my pricing. And we make it to closing table, you know, 100% of the time. So it absolutely taught me how to be a humble person, just being in this business. So I hope this video give you guys more of an insight on the pros and the cons about being a real estate agent. If you guys are more pro, then yes, you know, go get your license. And if you watch until this far, be sure to comment fortune cookie down below. This is Luna over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.